Well, welcome everybody to episode 2 of Deep in the Heart of Texas 4-H, the official Texas 4-H podcast. We are glad that y'all have joined us back for another episode. We hope that you enjoyed episode 1. And I guess if you're clicking on episode 2, it means you got something out of it. I am here with the wonderful Callie Runnels and Carrie Snyder once again, and we have a very special guest. The Texas 4-H Council president for 24-25, Augustus Sexton, is joining us today, and we're so excited to have him. So, how is everybody today?
We're good. Happy to be here.
Good. Happy to have a long weekend and be back, but ready to go.
I swear I felt a nice little chill in the breeze this morning. Anybody else feel that, or is it just in my head?
Oh, I
No,
felt it. We got
here.
a half inch of rain this morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. Some cooler temperatures are coming our way. Hopefully it's all over the state. Well, yeah, we, like I said, are excited to have Augustus here today. So why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, Augustus?
So, for those of you who don't know me, I grew up in Gonzales County on a Hereford and Angus seed stock operation where my family raises and sells some show cattle. My dad's a county extension agent here in Gonzales, and ever since I was old enough, I started in 4-H as a Clover kid and going to meetings with my older sister. And so being in the 4-H program has kind of been a family thing for me. And I've really been able to see how much I can grow from it, how much I've been able to gain from it throughout my 8 years in 4-H.
Love to hear it. Love to hear that it's a not only something you enjoy, but a family deal for you as well.
Yes, ma'am, certainly.
So today on episode 2, we really just want to talk about some of the really ground level topics, I would say, of 4-H, including what a 4-H project is, how to pick what you're going to do, and then all about the Big Five. And when I say the Big Five, that's kind of how we break down projects here in Texas 4-H in terms of their topic. And so we're going to go a little bit more in depth on all of that today. What do y'all say?
Sounds awesome.
Callie, you wanna take it away?
Sure. So if you listen to last time's podcast, you know that we kind of ended it with me talking about the big picture and thinking about the big picture of 4-H. So now we're going to get a little bit more specific to help you develop your big picture. So we're going to first talk about what is a 4-H project, because 4-H really is kind of a big world. And so having some of these specifics can help you guide your project. So a 4-H project is considered 6 learning experiences. And so each experience can be 20 to 60 minutes in length. So you want to have your 4-H project experiences at least 2 hours or more. And those can be once a week, they could be once a month, they could be 6 times during a week, or maybe even 6 times over 2 days, whatever you think develops a quality learning experience in for your project that you're working on. A 4-H project always involves community service, and community service is you helping others, you helping your community. And then 4-H projects include some type of leadership. And leadership is where you're teaching, demonstrating, or guiding others in their 4-H project work. And then the last part of a 4-H project is exhibition of project work. So quickly, I want to hit on 2 things. What are some learning experiences that you can have your 6 learning experiences? So that could be things like workshops, clinics, a tour, an exhibit. It can be doing some self-study on your own. Maybe that's reading a magazine. Maybe that's watching some YouTube videos. Maybe it's even watching a movie with your project group. It can be listening to educational presentations. It can be also an interview. So learning experiences can be anything where you're actually learning something. And some of those may be real structured, and some of them may just be more go with the flow type things. And then exhibition of project work is just sharing what you've learned during your project. So a lot of times we traditionally think of that as being the 4-H contest is kind of your exhibition of your project work. So your, for example, with the food nutrition project, one of your or some of your learning experiences might be your food challenge groups practices, because during that you're learning food safety, food preparation, you're learning about my plate. And then you're also learning teamwork, and maybe you're demonstrating how to make a certain dish, and that's leadership within your group. Maybe you're making some dishes and you're donating them to some shut-ins in your community. And then your exhibition of work is the actual food challenge contest, where you're showing what you've learned. So those are the parts of a 4-H project: 6 or more learning experiences, community service, leadership, and exhibition of project work.
I am totally calling out all of my former 4-H project leaders right now for never having a movie night as my project experience. Didn't know that could be a thing, and I wish it would have been.
Well, I'm thinking about theater and performing arts. I mean, wouldn't be watching a musical like Sound of Music, something like that? Wouldn't that be a great movie night for that project?
I'm pulling up High School Musical right now.
Yes, High School
Augustus, you're
Musical.
laughing at me.
I'm just enjoying the conversation.
I was thinking The Lion King personally. I don't know why I went there, but
Sing
Hey, it's bringing
along
in
with the
animals.
Lion King.
Oh, I love it. Well, you mentioned you know, the exhibition and then practicing, and really that brings us into project versus contest. And so the confusion of, is 4-H just a contest, is something we bring up a lot, right? Is it just learning, or is it just a contest, or is it both? And definitely it's both, like you said, right? Or does it have to be, And so I guess is, when you think about, as a current 4-H member who, like you said, you've been in it for years, when you think about project versus contest, what's the difference, realistically as a member? And how do both of those experiences help you?
So the way I interpret it, when I first hear 4-H projects, I'm thinking of things that you prepare at the house, whether that's an educational presentation, if you're Duds to Dazzle, food challenge, livestock project, if you're fashion, that educational presentation, you work it up at your house, you're practicing it nonstop for weeks on end beforehand. Duds to Dazzle, you're practicing all the time, like making at clothes items. If you have a livestock project, that animal is at least a year old when it gets shown. So that is a year of effort, day in and day out, that you're putting into that project. And I mean, it gets very monotonous day in and day out doing the little things. You think, oh, I can just skip this and it'll be fine. But you have to put your effort into every little thing, every detail, in order to get that end desired result. And then the contest, that's where you go to show off your project. I mean, you've heard it all the time that the prizes are won at the barn or at the extension office practicing, and you just go to the contest to pick it up. That is fully correct. I mean, yes, the contest is where you can go and showcase all of the work that you have put into your project. And also, I feel that the contest is where you're able to see all your competitors. You're able to learn from them, know what tricks and techniques they might be using. And also, you're able to build a really good community with those other competitors, because in the beginning, you might be scared or intimidated by them. But at the end of the day, they have the same passion as you and typically get along with all of them really good.
I love that. So benefit to just the project in itself, and then extra benefit when you go and stack yourself up against others at a contest.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Love that. So we've talked a lot about these projects, what builds them. There's a lot to pick from in 4-H, and that is a beautiful thing and a great thing, because we have opportunity for everyone. But sometimes that can feel overwhelming, right? So, Carrie, how might a new 4-H family go about selecting their projects, or even a 4-H member who's been in it for several years and wants to try something new?
absolutely. So, the Texas 4-H website or your county extension agent, the county extension office, they have this really cool thing that's called a project list. And so it lists all of the different projects within Texas 4-H. I like to hand it out to new people, to returning 4-H members. That way they can see, remember things, find something new that they want to try. And then we go off of that. So my first step would be to identify something that you like to do, that you're interested in learning more about, or just something that you kind of like, but you're not sure, you just want to test the water. So identify something there. And then you need to get with parents, friends, county agent, whoever is a leader in your 4-H club, maybe, and make a plan for what you want to do within that project. So, like Callie said earlier, you've got to have the 6 learning experiences, leadership and community service. So, kind of start thinking through those sorts of things. And then, if you haven't identified a leader yet, you either want to get with your county agent to do that. If your county doesn't have someone, like for instance, if you ask me to lead a STEM project, we're going to have to find someone else because that's not my forte. But if we can't identify someone, 4-H has self-led projects as well that your county agent can kind of set you up with some information and you can lead a project individually. So very similar to the same thing. It just may be more individualized, but you still have your 6 experiences, your leadership and citizenship activities. And then you also need to record your information. So I know everyone's favorite topic is 4-H record book. But at the end of a project, you want to keep track of everything you did. So a great way to do that is to have it for your record book. But you just need to get with an adult, whether it's your club manager, your county agent, and then talk through all of those steps to identify the project that's going to be a good fit for you.
Carrie, it's episode 2 and you already brought up record books.
I know I had to do it.
Come on, we're trying to keep our people here.
Give me PTSD attacks.
I have grown to love them in my experience as an agent, and I don't know why, but
No, they really are great, like you said, to keep that record. So I guess you said it's generational earlier, but what led you to the projects you're involved in? What are you involved in? And then what made you want to excel in them, and kind of how have you excelled in them?
Yes, ma'am. So, like I alluded to in my kind of introduction, and my dad is the county agent here in Gonzales County, and we are fortunate enough to live out in the countryside where we have lots of land and could facilitate raising livestock. And also, so it was natural for us to raise cattle, but my parents instilled values in me that they learned when they were growing up in 4-H of hard work and discipline, and they both grew up through the 4-H program and saw the benefits that it had on them. And so they wanted me to be able to get those same benefits through the program. And I can say it's been the best thing that's happened to me in the last 8 years and everything that I've gained from it. And so kind of diving into why I want to excel in those projects. And like I said, with my parents instilling good values into me of working hard and giving it your all and everything, but also raised me up to be a Christian. And God commands us to, He says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. I mean, that right there, that pushes me to, I think of that all the time. Whatever you're doing, do it the best of your ability. I would say I'm a very driven person and I am not satisfied with being average. And so, I mean, trying to reach state council was a big goal of mine. And then getting elected as president was something that I never had planned at all. But through working hard every day, I believe that is what has led me to excel in those projects.
That's awesome. Well, we are definitely proud of all of the young people like you in our program who have excelled and who are making the most out of what we can offer. So keep at it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've mentioned a few projects here and there. We mentioned Big Five in the beginning. Callie and Carrie, what does that mean when we say the Big Five in Texas 4-H?
So the Big 5 project areas in Texas 4-H are Ag and livestock, family community health, leadership and citizenship, natural resources, and then STEM. So within each of those big 5 areas, there are smaller, more direct projects within those. So within family community health is the food and nutrition project. Under natural resources is the shooting sports project. So each area, the big 5, is broken down into more specific areas.
And so why do y'all think that it's important that we have those options for what these youth want to do?
Well, kind of like Carrie said and you said, there's so many projects, and there's actually 43 listed 4-H projects. So I think that's one of the great things about 4-H is you can almost find something that interests almost everyone. There's not many organizations that probably have a project that is around theater and performance arts, but we have lots of organizations that has that as a part. So in 4-H, you can put that all together to me and make it a true learning experience. So we have lots of things to offer, everyone.
I agree with that. And one thing that I think is really neat about having several different 4-H projects is it can really help diversify your skill set and develop you as a more complete leader. I mean, and there's several crossovers that some of the projects are similar that you can take the same knowledge that you've gained in one project and take that and apply it into another project as well as learning more. And so it's very beneficial. The more projects you can get in, the more you'll be able to benefit from the 4-H program.
Absolutely.
And 4-H allows you to try several different things. And so when Carrie was talking about picking a project, maybe when you're young, you might want to try all the disciplines that we offer in shooting sports. But then as you get older, you may figure out, I'm really good at archery. And I think that's what I want to focus on.
Yes, ma'am. Can really help find your true passion in it.
Because we all know that it's okay to try and fail. Did y'all ever try a 4-H project that you were like, not my thing, but I'm glad I tried it? Carrie, you're shaking your head. What was yours?
Yeah, mine was a shotgun. My sister was really good at it, loved it when we were younger. I was always scared. I don't know why. I do have done all different sorts of shooting sports. But I was not good at it. I could shoot at 50 targets, and if I hit one, it was a good day. So I learned real quick that was not my area. She went and ran with it, and I just sat back and cheered her on.
Love that. Love that. Mine was livestock judging. Even though I was forced to do it, it was not my thing. I did not enjoy it. And I still did it. And I'm glad I did because I got the experience, but it was just not my thing. But you know what? I tried it. Like you said, Carrie, we did it and we moved on. And that's something that we can do in 4-H because we have all of these opportunities and it's okay.
Must be a Cali thing because I was that same way. I remember crying. I won't name the county agent who still works, but I had to go with him to livestock judging. And my mom was like, "You're going to finish what you started." And I finished it,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Oh yeah, I could also name the name of the person taking reasons that I cried in front of. Yeah, it's it's embarrassing. Anyways, we've got lots of opportunity in 4-H projects. And we mentioned community service earlier. That's a project in itself, but also it's part of every project. So it's something very important here in Texas 4-H as a whole. But to spend a little more time with Augustus, our guest for today, our council president. Augustus, what does Texas 4-H Council have planned for this year? What are y'all trying to achieve? What do you want to tell folks?
Yes, ma'am. So I can say one thing for sure is that this council group is fired up for Roundup. We're trying to get as many people there, trying to get those contests, that invitational contests packed with as many contestants and competitors as possible, and really trying to hype up the Roundup experience and how good of a learning opportunity it is that there's so many different contests you can compete in there. There's lots of educational programs, the career fairs and all of that, and as well as the nightly assemblies that are so much fun, the dances afterwards. It's really a great weekend if you can make it to the 4-H Roundup the first weekend of June.
Awesome. Do y'all have anything else coming up?
Yes, ma'am. So that's our main thing that we're highlighting. But the first thing that's coming up for us is going to be Spark, which will be November 8th, 9th, and 10th. And that is hosted at the 4-H Center in Brownwood. And that is for the 4-Hers that are third grade through eighth grade. So it's kind of our younger group of 4-Hers before they get into high school. And they're at Spark. They'll be engaged in lots of leadership games and hands-on learning activities, as well as lots of life skills, education, and really helping them see all the project areas in 4-H if they are not already aware of them. And so I can remember back when I went to Spark, and that was such a fun time. And I was only able to go my eighth grade year, but I can confidently say if I would been able to go my previous years, I absolutely would have taken it. And so now that I'm in the position where I'm actually on the team that is hosting Spark, I want to invest into those kids and make it as good a learning opportunity for them as they can be.
And have y'all picked a theme this year? Because I already have my outfit, so I just want to make sure I'm on target.
Yes, ma'am. Our theme for Spark is going to be camo and crowns. So definitely looking forward to dressing up for that.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we are so thankful that you joined us today, Augustus. But before we end this podcast, Carrie, what's our top tip of the day?
Okay, so since we're hitting projects, our top tip of the day is don't be scared to try something new. And if you're a youth leader or older 4-H member, you can always become a team leader of a new project to help get it started within your club or your county.
Sweet. And just a quick resource reminder before we let y'all go. On the Texas 4-H website, you will find project pages for all of those 43 projects we talked about today. We've got one-pagers that can give you a brief explanation of the project or the statewide event. We've got explore guides on various topics, different kinds of curriculum that you can utilize if you are maybe looking into a new project. So definitely go check those out on the 4-H website. You'll find a lot of information that can help guide you along. And we've talked a bit about Spark. So look for that Spark registration. Again, you can look for the Texas 4-H Youth Development Program, Facebook and Instagram to get the registration link. And then don't forget to send us a DM if you have a question, a comment, a concern, a thought. We want to see a special guest or hear a special topic. Let us know. Send us a message. So, anything else, my friends?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having us.